Metal has always embraced darkness in its lyrics, imagery, and themes, but sometimes real darkness finds the musicians themselves. These 10 artists gave everything to heavy metal, only to have their lives cut short by devastating illnesses that no amount of fame could prevent. Number 10. Jeff Hanneman. The spider bite seemed minor at first. In early 2011, the Slayer guitarist noticed a small wound on his arm after relaxing in a hot tub at a friend's house. Within days, necrotizing fasciitis, the flesh-eating bacteria, had spread through his tissue. Doctors considered amputating his arm. The man who wrote Angel of Death and co-wrote Raining Blood with Kerry King spent days in a medically induced coma, his playing arm damaged beyond full recovery. Hanneman attempted a comeback, making one final live appearance with Slayer at the Big Four concert in Indio, California on April 23, 2011, playing the last two songs of the set. But the infection had triggered deeper problems. Though he survived the bacteria, alcohol-related cirrhosis had been destroying his liver. On May 2, 2013, at just 49 years old, Jeff Hanneman died of liver failure. Slayer had lost one of thrash metal's most important architects. Number 9. Chuck Schuldiner. The metal world called him the godfather of death metal. At 32, Chuck Schuldiner had pioneered an entire genre with death, releasing 7 albums that transformed extreme music forever. Albums like Leprosy and Symbolic influenced countless bands across the extreme metal spectrum. Then came the headaches. On May 13, 1999, his 32nd birthday, Schuldiner was diagnosed with pontine glioma, a rare and aggressive brainstem tumor. Fans worldwide organized fundraisers for his treatment. Bands including Korn, Pantera, and Slipknot donated items for auction. The metal community united like never before, but the cancer proved unstoppable. On December 13, 2001, Chuck Schuldiner died at 34. His work with death and his final project, Control Denied, became his lasting testament, proof that extreme metal could be progressive, technical, and profoundly human. Number 8. Clive Burr. The drums on Iron Maiden's first 3 albums defined the new wave of British heavy metal. From 1979 to 1982, Clive Burr propelled classics like Run to the Hills, The Number of the Beast, and Wrathchild with relentless precision. I'm here to get you. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Those albums sold tens of millions of copies worldwide. Maiden's rise seemed unstoppable, and Burr was at the heart of it all. In the late 1990s, Burr revealed he had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. The progressive neurological disease slowly stripped away his motor control. Playing drums became impossible. Medical bills mounted. His former bandmates established the Clive Burr MS Trust Fund in 2002 and organized charity concerts in 2004 and beyond. with members of Iron Maiden performing to raise funds. Burr passed away on March 12, 2013 at 56. Iron Maiden's official statement honored the man whose beats ignited a movement. Number 7. Ronnie James Dio.
Holy diver, you've been down too long in the midnight sea. Oh, it's because...
Over 50 years in rock and roll, 3 legendary bands, 1 unmistakable voice. Ronnie James Dio fronted Rainbow, Black Sabbath, and his own band Dio, creating anthems like Holy Diver,
Holy diver, you're the star of the masquerade.
Rainbow in the Dark,
Like a rainbow in the dark. Like a rainbow.
and Heaven and Hell.
The devil is never a maker.
He popularized the devil horn's hand sign that became metal's universal symbol. At 67, he remained a commanding live performer, touring with Heaven and Hell throughout 2009. Then came the announcement that shattered the metal world. In November 2009, Dio revealed he had been diagnosed with stomach cancer. 6 months. That's all the time between diagnosis and death.
She looked down at me. Said, heaven is where you ought to be.
On May 16, 2010, the voice that defined heavy metal fell silent. His widow Wendy established the Ronnie James Dio Stand-Up and Shout Cancer Fund, turning tragedy into action. His influence stretches across generations of metal artists from Killswitch Engage to modern power metal.
Something is coming for you. Look out! Race for the morning.
Number 6. Jon Lord. In 1969, nobody had heard anything quite like it. A full symphony orchestra accompanying a hard rock band at the Royal Albert Hall. Jon Lord's concerto for group and orchestra fused classical composition with Deep Purple's thundering riffs, changing what rock music could achieve. As Deep Purple's keyboardist and co-founder, Lord crafted the sound behind Smoke on the Water, Highway Star, and Child in Time. Those albums sold over 100 million copies. Lord retired from touring with Deep Purple in 2002 to focus on orchestral work. A decade later, tragedy struck. In the summer of 2011, doctors diagnosed him with pancreatic cancer, one of the deadliest forms with survival rates below 10%. He died on July 16, 2012, at 71. The entire rock community mourned the loss of one of the instrument's true pioneers. Before we continue, which of these musicians' work meant the most to you? Did you ever see any of them perform live? Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Number 5. Peter Steele.
Still looking for someone who was around.
In May 2005, metal message boards exploded with news that Peter Steele had died. It was an elaborate hoax orchestrated by the typo negative frontman himself, timed around his departure from Roadrunner Records.
I need no one else to see my baby loves to dance.
5 years later, nobody believed the real headlines. Standing 6'8" with a baritone voice that rumbled like doom itself, Steele had crafted gothic metal masterpieces throughout the 1990s. Bloody Kisses went platinum, featuring Black Number 1 and Christian Woman. The band blended Black Sabbath heaviness with Beatles melodies and morbid humor. Steele battled depression and substance issues for years. On April 14, 2010, he died at 48. The initial reports cited heart failure, but the actual cause was later determined to be sepsis caused by diverticulitis. One of metal's most unique voices was gone forever. Bands like him and Lacuna Coil carry his gothic torch forward. Number 4. Lemmy Kilmister.
If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, lose some, it's all the same.
40 years of relentless touring, 22 studio albums, thousands of shows fueled by whiskey, cigarettes, and pure defiance.
Don't turn it, turn it back to you.
Lemmy Kilmister was Motorhead, the living embodiment of rock and roll excess who somehow kept going while others fell.
Dancing with the devil, going with the flow, it's all a game to me.
Though his health had been declining for years, with multiple tour cancellations in 2015, he kept performing as long as his body allowed. Then his body finally betrayed him. On December 26, 2015, just 2 days after his 70th birthday, doctors delivered devastating news. Aggressive prostate cancer had spread throughout his body, combined with congestive heart failure and cardiac arrhythmia. They gave him weeks, perhaps months. He had 2 days.
Snake eyes watching you.
On December 28, 2015, Lemmy died at home in Los Angeles, just 48 hours after diagnosis. His final words to fans were the same as always. "We are Motorhead, and we play rock and roll." He meant every syllable.
Like it, baby, I don't want to live forever.
Number 3. Vinnie Paul. At 54, the drummer who helped create groove metal should have had decades left. Vinnie Paul's double bass thunder powered Pantera through the 1990s, driving classics like Cowboys from, hell, vulgar display of power and Walk to Platinum status. Alongside his brother, he built one of the most influential metal bands in history. Then, Dimebag was murdered on stage at a Damageplan concert in December 2004, and Vinnie never recovered. He formed Damageplan with his brother before the tragedy, then later launched Hell Yeah, channeling grief into music. His heart, both emotionally and physically, had been damaged beyond repair. On June 22, 2018, Vinnie Paul died in his sleep. The autopsy revealed dilated cardiomyopathy and significant coronary artery disease. Some said he died of a broken heart. He was buried next to Dimebag. The brothers reunited in death. Number 2. Filthy Animal Tailor. Overkill, Bomber, Ace of Spades. Those albums didn't just define Motorhead, they defined what metal drumming could sound like. Bill "Filthy Animal" Taylor joined in 1975 and became the backbone of the band's classic lineup alongside Lemmy and Fast Eddie Clarke. His ferocious style influenced thrash drummers from Lars Ulrich to Dave Lombardo. Across 2 separate stints spanning roughly 14 years, Taylor helped keep Motorhead thundering forward.
7 or 11, snake eyes watching you.
Years of hard living caught up with him. By 2015, liver problems had become severe. Taylor was too ill to tour. On November 11, 2015, he died from liver failure at 61, less than 2 months before Lemmy would follow. Lemmy paid tribute, calling Taylor his brother in arms for life. The classic Motorhead lineup was now reduced to 1 surviving member, and not for long.
Because, you know we do it right.
Number 1. Fast Eddie Clarke. The classic Motorhead lineup was supposed to last forever. At least, that's what fans believed. Lemmy on bass and vocals, Filthy Animal Taylor on drums, Fast Eddie Clarke on guitar. From 1976 to 1982, they created the template that thrash metal would build upon. Bronze Records released their definitive albums, including Overkill, Bomber, and Ace of Spades. Clarke's razor-sharp riffs cut through Lemmy's bass-heavy rumble with surgical precision.
No night fighter! Gonna stop us getting through!
After leaving Motorhead, Clarke formed Fastway and remained active in music for decades. In January 2018, he was hospitalized for pneumonia. On January 10th, he passed away at 67. His death completed a tragic trilogy. Filthy Taylor died in November 2015. Lemmy followed in December 2015. Now Fast Eddie was gone too. Within 26 months, the most iconic lineup in heavy metal history had vanished completely.